Techsource reacted to, yeah, I saw that. I haven't watched the video yet though. Here, let's look at it. Let's look at it. So he reacted to us apparently. Or is this YouTube? I don't know. Should we make it into a YouTube video? I mean, I skimmed through it. I didn't watch it yet though because I swear I didn't watch. I know it looks like I watched it, but I swear I didn't. Okay. I've been preparing for this moment my entire life. No, I'm kidding, I haven't.
Boys and girls, it's that time again to react to some more popular YouTuber and setup streamers. Due to popular requests, a lot of you guys want me to react to Loafs Setup.
Look at Loafs Setup. When are you reacting to Loafs Setup? You should do Lough. React to Loafs Setup. Lough is in one of your Motherboard videos if you didn't know. Okay, cool.
And Danused's Setup. I apologize if I butchered your name.
Watch Loafs Setup. His cable management. My cable management is not insane. I don't claim to have amazing cable management. Do Loafs Setup. Please rate Loafs Setup. My rate is hard 4 out of 10 for me. You know why? What?
And by the way, so yeah, with that said, let's get started.
We're watching Ed Daddy. Chat, I need to give Ed a nickname. What should Ed's nickname be? Ed Daddy? Eddie Boy?
Imagine using only one software to
Alright,
control.
this is an ad. We're skipping.
Gear is supported
GPU liquor?
on their
What the f?
website, and if it's not, don't
I think we're good with Ed Daddy.
worry because they're constantly adding more items to their list. All right, let's start off by taking a look at Loafs Setup. When I actually mentioned him in the last reacting video, his name was very familiar, but I couldn't quite figure out who he was. But apparently he was on Setup Wars sometime last year. So it'd be really interesting to see how his setup has changed since he got featured on the episode.
So that setup that he was looking at was from 2 years ago. So I've had an entire setup in between. It was a studio setup where like I had an L desk and then you know the triple monitor stuff. Yeah, and then here we are. Okay.
So I'm assuming is this one over here 2 months ago.
He should have watched this one because this one was I don't like this video. It was kind of bad.
A teenager's dream setup, gaming, and in-depth desk tour. But there's another one up here 5 months ago.
Yeah, watch that one. Watch the 5 months ago. This was just my desk. This was my whole room. But I'm pretty sure he's gonna watch this one.
18-year-old's dream setup.
Eddie, get in my Chexy, bro. What?
$30,000, yo! This man's gotta be capping, right? Like
it actually is 30K. It's mostly like camera stuff and like my Mac and my PC. Like my Mac, my PC, and my cameras make up like probably 2/3 of that.
If that's the cost of his setup, that can't be true. But if it's the entire room, then I guess it can be. But $30,000 is a lot of money. So let's go ahead and take a look at his his in-depth desk tour.
Oh, I wish you watched the other one.
Yo, okay. That's literally the first thing that stood out to me. Is that massive 49-inch. It's gotta be a 49-inch ultra wide, super ultra wide in vertical mode. This guy's probably looking at the monitor like this.
Yeah, looking into heaven.
Let's continue with the setup tour.
Since I have my monitors mounted to my desk, in the middle I have these adjustable desk legs. At IKEA, I made the music too loud on this video. I'm not gonna lie. Anymore. However, I do recommend the Loafs as an alternative. Finally, for the countertop, it's the Ekbacken countertop. Unfortunately,
it's a solid countertop.
It does look really clean with the marble finish. I think it's a really good budget alternative to the highly popular Carl-B at about half the price. Moving on, let's talk about the stuff I have behind my setup. A lot of people ask about these wall panels. They are this light gray color and I have them raised off the wall. To get them raised off the wall, I use a 74-inch by 43-inch piece of plywood.
That's pretty cool.
And I use a 65-foot Govee LED strip all the way around.
So
yeah, hand movement. I can show you some other hand movement.
Panels to add a bit of RGB lighting. Looks like that's only visible on the edges, not so much
Fortnite player
in the center, unless you raised all the hexagon panels actually.
They're all raised, yeah.
From left to right. But he's only able to add the RGB strips on the outer edges, of course, that makes the most sense. So you can kind of see the bleeding of the lighting. My boy Havoc actually did a phenomenal job with.
I know this guy's sick.
His hexagon panels, his was another level, but it's really cool to see something similar done by a
bruh. At the top, I have these black shelves from IKEA, one being 74 inches and the other one being about 43 inches, something like that. Something that's actually pretty interesting is that they don't level out, so they're not at the same exact height. Something interesting about the outer glow with the LED strips. So originally I had some bleed through the panels from the LED strips. You could see the hot spots and it kind of looked a little tacky.
Yeah.
So Electrum, thank you for the 100 bits. I appreciate you. These white pieces of paper around the edges where you can't see
smart.
them on the outside. However, if you kind of get close to the wall and look behind it, you
that's
can see that
smart.
paper there. Basically,
It helps diffuse the lights a little bit.
Bleed, if that makes sense.
All right,
You
well,
can tell
if
that
there's a
massive
sub,
difference and it looks way better with the paper. And for the final part of the wall, the centerpiece
don't get mad at me, okay?
the LED clock.
That's a nice clock.
For under $30, it's such a good item to add to a setup. It looks so clean, and I am very happy with it. Now let's move on to the monitor. I have 3. Personally, it's the best middle ground between a lot of screens, but not too much. Yes, I'm aware that I have a vertical 49-inch monitor. So
do tell me why, Lo. I'm actually very, very curious why you have this monstrosity of a monitor.
All right, it's mostly for show. Like, I don't need this. Like the 49-inch monitor. It's legitimately 2 27-inch monitors stacked, right? That's what it is. It's what it equals out to. It's a monitor that I had in an old setup, and I'm not just gonna get rid of it. And it's a flex, and it gets views, and I don't use like the top half that much. Like, I just have like Discord up there, and I don't. And when I actually use Discord, I move it to like a different monitor, but I just put it up there so I can have it open. So it's like having 4 monitors without having like the 4 monitor setup where there's a 3 and then the one above. Because then I feel like I'm in like kind of like, you know, it's too much going on at that point. Is your neck broken? I don't look up there that much, so I'm telling you.
In a vertical position, this thing is a freaking Eiffel Tower on your desk. There's no way you can take advantage of the top third.
Nah,
by
exactly.
sitting down at least. If you're standing, obviously you can probably reach up there, but it just seems so uncomfortable and not practical at all. So I'm really curious to hear what you gotta say
and
about
I
this.
like having, I've always liked having an ultra wide or a wide vertical monitor so that my chat can be taller. Because, you know, like it's easier to read things on a vertical monitor, so that's like the main advantage. But with that, you know, the top of it, I like the top third I don't use that much. So
I would love to upgrade to 1440p or 4K soon.
also, what I do want to say is that one of the main reasons why like I have Discord there rather than Discord on this right monitor is because like when I'm streaming, it's a lot easier for me to glance this way and talk to chat. And when I'm talking to chat, I want to make sure that I'm muted in Discord if I'm in call with somebody. So with how Discord works, and Discord being right here, or sure you guys can't see it. Like the way that Discord is, you can see if you're muted and deafened at the very bottom. So like it's legitimately right above my OBS, so I can make sure I'm muted.
Would want a 240 hertz or up monitor, but that will have to wait. Rounding out my somewhat unique monitor layouts is my last monitor. I use it for Spotify and to tab to my friend's stream. It is a BenQ 144 hertz
Hey, you're famous.
monitor. And
That's not me.
So although
Start
it
walking.
does have a
Yeah,
weird
tab, come
viewing
home.
angle, it still looks good. All of the monitors are mounted on Vivo monitor mounts that are linked in the description.
So let's talk a little bit about the monitors. Lo said he wanted to go with something a little bit more unique, and I think he definitely nailed that aspect of the setup. This is, you don't get to see this many types of setups on Setup Wars. Usually you get the traditional like symmetrical layout, you know, when you have monitors close together with no like gaps between. I think one of the reasons this setup stood out to me the most when he submitted was how all his monitors are kind of like in different locations.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have a symmetrical setup relatively, like this 2 stacked monitors and the vertical on the left side, which is what a lot of people do. It just got boring. And I wanted to like show some homage to my original setup, the one that I posted on TikTok. So
For my case, I use the ever so famous TikTok case. The Lee & Lee 011 dynamic.
This man did not just call the 011 dynamic a TikTok. I'm quitting this freaking series. I can't believe Lo called this case the TikTok case. Is that what everyone's calling it on TikTok? Because this case from Lee & Lee existed before TikTok was
oh yeah, but it got popular on
even
TikTok.
cool. Okay, let me tell you something. Us PC enthusiasts or gamers will find some offense if for anyone that calls this the TikTok case.
Do people take offense by that? I don't think people do. I don't know. I definitely don't like. I don't know. People call it the low case, the low 11, and I'm not. I didn't start saying that because people like to, what is that word? stereotype this case as being a TikTok case. So yeah.
I think Lee and Lee will also find it kind of disrespectful.
They sent me another one, and Lee and Lee likes me,
but
because I sold them probably over 10,000 cases probably.
I'm just gonna leave it at that. This is the Lee and Lee 011 dynamic.
Not a flex. I'm just saying I didn't get paid for that. And
it
it didn't pay me.
011 dynamic.
But I probably did sell them like 10,000 cases.
Which is a
if you like add them all up.
16 cores, 32 threads, which is crazy overkill for streaming. For my GPU, I have an Asus Strix 3090. It is so beautiful, and I have basically no limitations for gaming. Yeah, all I play is Valorant. I'm sorry.
This man's played Valorant on a 3090.
I got it for free.
I'm about to cut someone right now. At least he's not playing Minecraft. It could have been worse.
Gigabytes at 4,000 megahertz. Asus. My motherboard is my recent upgrade, Royal 64 gigabytes at 4,000 megahertz. My motherboard is my recent upgrade. It's the Dark Hero X570, and it is so beefy. For fans, I have 9 in total: 3 LL120s in black, 3 QL120s in white, and 3 ML120s connected to my radiator.
Well, okay. First of all, some beast specs, my guy. Holy
disrespected aloe. Wait, what?
But Jesus. Something I did notice though is your fan configuration. It's interesting. So
it's mostly for aesthetics.
So he's got 3 fans in the front reversed. So these are essentially exhaust fans.
Oh no.
When typically
Chad, I have had nightmares from when people like on TikTok will just like come at you for your fan configuration.
People put fans in the front.
People get so pressed.
And then he kind of offsets that by putting 3 more intake fans on the top.
20s in black, 3 QL.
I talked to the poets about this. He said my fan configuration was all right.
20s.
And then the bottom fans are also, looks like they're intake. I think, yeah, they're intake as well. So a very interesting fan configuration. It's not something I recommend because obviously hot air rises. So
hot air rises, but when you introduce movement or just, you know, airflow, like fans moving air, it doesn't really affect it too much.
I kind of want to follow the natural direction of air. So, you know, intake in the front, intake in the bottom, and just
plus it looks better like this.
Exhaust all the hot air out.
But I'm not saying that's the right airflow. That's the right way to do your airflow or its fan configuration. There's a bunch that work, and there are a lot of tests out there that prove the best one, but it doesn't really change performance, especially when you're not overclocking too much. But yeah, it goes both ways.
You know, if his temps are okay, then
I forgot I had this drink.
Yes, I know my bottom LL120 isn't working. I'll fix that later. The next category I want to talk about is my lights. I have a lot of lights in my setup. The back RGB strip on my desk is an Elgato light strip. Behind my monitors are the Govee light bars, and the last major light that I have is an Elgato key light, which I use for streaming. Now, audio, a lot of times people ask me about my mic. I use the popular Shure 7B with an Elgato boom arm. Might be the best boom arm I've used, by the way.
It's a solid boom arm.
My XLR cable and a Go XLR for my interface /
my bad, chat.
For the last thing, it is mostly miscellaneous things, peripherals, accessories. My keyboard is an NK65 aluminum.
Oh, nice. I feel like there's so much on camera and there's very little B-roll.
Yeah,
like, as much
I agree. I messed up in terms of, that's why I don't really like this video. I wish you watched the other one because I didn't really, it was rushed.
I love looking at your beautiful face, Lo. I want to see more of this setup. I feel like there's just not enough B-roll shots in here. The ratio is off, is all I'm saying.
Yeah. Lubed with Crytek's 205 grade 0.
Excuse you.
Keycaps are PBC Katakana, and I bought a.
That's a clean keyboard build. Yeah. Matches the mouse pad.
And of course,
matches the mouse.
On the
really
right
good.
side of my keyboard. Should I sell these again? Moving on to my mouse, I have 2, both wireless. One being my custom Razer Viper Ultimate, made by Nacho
dope.
Customs. It has a little Kiowa shadow here, and it has my logo.
That's dope. The logo lights up. That's dope.
My YG Pro Superlight, which I do main, and I use that most of the
I
time.
like looking at Low anyways. Thanks,
Tab. I used to have really expensive speakers, but this was only like $20, and I wanted something that didn't take up too much space, but better than monitor speakers. Plus, it looks clean. I also have.
So he had expensive speakers, and he downsized to a single cheaper, I guess, soundbar. Kind of seems like a very similar situation to mine where I downgrade. I keep saying downgrade, where I switched from the caps to my Cantos.
I want to see more of your face.
But going with like a wireless Bluetooth speaker is...
It's not wireless.
I would say that's a downgrade.
Yeah, it is a downgrade.
I guess it's sort of a downgrade if you're using like Bluetooth speakers just for like window sound and stuff. But if you're constantly on the headphones, then...
Yeah, I don't use it anyways. I should get rid of it.
Sense to
go I want to see your butt for real. What?
So it's personal preference. When he says that there's no space for it, if you really wanted speakers in your setup, you would make space for it. So
don't use them.
I have this money phone mount. Aloe bought it for me, and it's a nice little phone holder. My current mouse pad is the Avalanche from Gutsy Aiden. Very pretty, and the quality is super nice. I do have coasters. These are from Elgato, but I highly recommend coasters for those wanting to keep their desk clean. My headset is HyperX's Cloud Mixes.
I don't know what that was,
love the look on these. Lastly, the thing everyone's been waiting for, the nut button. Inspired by its Jarian, this is easily the best part of my setup. Anyways, that is everything in my setup.
So he got the nut button because of Jarian, which I also reacted to his setup. I might get one for myself. I can use it every time I see bad cable management.
Turns out I forgot a few things. I forgot to talk about this guy. This is a... We're gonna play Value after.
Open.
I didn't even think I was gonna watch
trash can.
Open.
Doesn't Pokimane have the same exact trash can? Doesn't even work, dude.
I fucked it up. I accidentally pressed the button.
You broke it. You freaking broke it.
Alright, I think we're almost done here, chat. There we go.
Yeah, the trash
can
takes itself out. I love it. All right, so let's take a look at some parts of your setup. I do have some things to say as well as a final rating. Let's get a good shot. So
is this
first
his
and
latest
foremost,
setup video?
The PC fan configuration, although not incorrect technically, it's not optimal.
Technically, yeah, but...
Always want your exhaust to be set on the top and then your intake on the bottom or in the front, just to follow the natural path of air, right? Because hot air always rises. I'm really curious to actually see what your temps are when it's on full load. Now for the actual setup itself.
Hey, Colin.
Boy, oh boy, I don't even know where to start. The elephant in the room is the Super Ultra Wide. I think I touched a little bit on that. It's very unusual to see such a tall monitor like that.
Two tech nerds on one screen? Okay, wow. Hey, Jojo.
I don't know how you're gonna use that monitor. I would love to know. Maybe you can answer in the comment section below if you're watching this video. But I feel like the cutoff for that should be like a 32-inch ultra wide. Even that is still pretty freaking tall.
I agree. This isn't necessary. It's 100% for like it was for TikTok views. These 49-inch monitors get so many views on TikTok.
Like I would say 27-inch.
Plus, I had it laying around because of a collaboration it with Asus.
Would be perfect, but again, if you find uses for it, good on you, my guy. Good on you. Everything else is kind of split up into completely different places. It is definitely unique, very different than other setups that we normally see on the show. But you know, if it works, it works. I'm just not a huge fan of the monitor layout. It kind of looks like a command center at NASA or something with a bunch of like monitors elsewhere. I think
that's why I like.
If this was my setup, I would easily put the 49-inch ultra wide on the top. Like that will be my overhead. And if you really need a vertical monitor, I would swap the top right monitor, put it in vertical mode on the left side, and then keep your main monitor where it is.
I don't know about that. I mean, I've actually thought about something like that. But then again, this gets more views.
That would be, you know, kind of the orientation I'd go with. Of course, that means you won't have space.
It would look nice,
in the center, so you would have to reposition that. But that's what I would do at least. Obviously, symmetry isn't really present here in the setup, and things aren't exactly centered. Like the soundbar isn't exactly centered underneath the monitor. Very nitpicking stuff like that. But overall,
soundbar is that? It's some $20 one on Amazon. I haven't used it since I got it, to be honest.
I will give it a solid. It's between a 7 and an 8.
Okay.
7.5 out of 10. That is my
center
rating.
of your setup.
Got cable management. Let's see.
Alright,
so here is
I didn't
the
really have
cable
cable
management. I don't really have like an eye level view of what's going on underneath, but I do see one cable kind of dangling underneath the desk. I don't know what cable that is. And the rest of the wires are tucked away.
10 out of 10.
I
understand where my
like
setup
pedal
can be a lot better.
underneath there. No hanger for the headphones. at least from this shot. But
I think it's because it's not his style.
So yeah, that's
Go
going to
jump
reinforce my rating of 7.5 out of 10. Again, guys, this is just my personal opinion. I feel like I have to always say this because people get upset when I give a low rating.
More views
or my
only.
opinion does not match with their opinion, and it's their favorite YouTuber, for example.
But does this dude
Case in
live?
point,
Oh hell
the
no.
PewDiePie reaction video. A lot of angry PewDiePie fans didn't like what I had to say about his setup. But just because I say something about someone's setup doesn't mean
rating
it's like
Techsource's
in the
house.
10 Commandments,
We
or it's
jumping
like
him
law.
for quote
It's just
unquote
my personal
views.
opinion. That is it. It was just a reaction video, so please don't take these videos seriously. But anyways, yeah, Lo, if you're watching this video, I'd love to see you on Setup Wars again.
I think my setup isn't anywhere near perfect. I probably give my setup currently like an 8 or 9 because there's a lot of good fix. But in terms of the aesthetic, it's not his aesthetic. His aesthetic is very symmetrical and very perfect. Like in terms of like everything has to be perfect. But when you're constantly using a setup every day, 6-7 hours a day just to stream, because I edit over there, and you know when you're streaming you're drinking drinks, you're you know adding new things all the time, and my main goal with the setup isn't for it to look aesthetically pleasing. Of course, my goal has always been to balance a nice aesthetic as well as what's convenient for streaming. So that's where my goal is here. I've tried the triple monitor setup this way, the symmetrical one up here, 3 here. It's never been what I needed, because it's hard for me to put my camera there, or to put my camera in a good place, or it's hard for me to get my PC in the shot, or you know what I mean, like random things like that. Or it's hard for me, like for example, my stream deck's right here in the middle of my desk, when it might be easier, or it might look better if it's under my monitor, but it's easier for me to click something that's like right next to my keyboard, so I have it there. So just like generally those are the things that
An updated submission.
How big are your balls?
Yeah, pretty dope setup, dude.
What? You definitely docked 2 points with the ultra wide. I don't know. All of my entire setup isn't for it to like. I mean, of course, I prioritize functionality as well as aesthetics and the balancing those two. But a lot of the things here are also for views. Like 49-inch monitor, that's gonna get people talking. So people are gonna comment about it. Or my fan configuration aesthetically, in my opinion, looks the best because of the exhaust on the side, and it gets people talking because it's not the norm. But I guess that'll wrap up this this video. I didn't expect to make this into a video. I didn't even expect to react to it, but literally right when I went live, 200 people were spamming Techsource react to your video, so I thought it'd be a good opportunity to react to it. Once again, Ed, thank you for reacting to it. I appreciate you for sharing my setup with all of your subscribers. So much love. Other than that, I think that'll wrap up this video. So if you guys haven't already, make sure to like, subscribe, follow me on Twitch. If you made it this far, type in the comment section fuck Tav. All right, cool.